Who wants James? If you said James Baldwin, he's one of my favorite black writers. No, James Baldwin, one of my favorite writers. That works. That works.
I totally agree. I used to get annoyed by being called a gay comic. I thought, what, like, I mean,
that is quite annoying.
It is,
yeah,
it is
quite annoying.
but it's, you know, you don't do the job, you don't tie it to your identity in that way or whatever that means.
Well, but here you put your finger on one of the key things. What if there are people who are told they should?
Yeah.
Who are told exactly? This is dogma. This is indoctrination.
Yeah.
I suspect that, like me, very little to nothing of your sense of identity, self, or worth relies on the fact that you happen to be gay.
None of it.
Right. Now, there are other people who are told that is the single signal signifying factor about you, and there is an agenda afterwards. So once, this is what I describe as the gay-queer divide, you know, the gay just happens to be attracted to their own sex, whereas queer is, being attracted to your own sex is just the beginning of attacking the patriarchy and capitalism and bringing down, you're like, what, I didn't get that memo.
No.
But the same argument is made in each of these other ones. Being a woman is not just about being a woman. It is about a follow-on set of political demands.
Yeah.
This is the politicization of everything. But there are people for whom this is, whether we like it or not, this is a foundational issue about their identity. And that's why this ends up getting fought, among other reasons, in such a bitter manner. Because if you are attacking something, or seem to be attacking something, which is at the root of somebody's sense of their self, then of course they react like a maniac.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not suggesting that those things aren't important to your life, you know, being gay or being a woman or whatever. But to tie it to your whole worldview, that you see everything through that prism, it feels to me the opposite of what we used to believe. You know, like we used to go on about we're born this way. You know, this isn't. You know, now it's something about choice. It's about you choose your identity. You know, this is something that you should be able to do. I think there's some damage in that. I see like being gay as being left-handed. Being 5'10" or whatever, you know, it's a kind of vital statistic. It's something that's neither here nor there.
Well, one of the reasons, as you know, that I argue that this is a particularly dementing era is because the contradictions, we don't focus on them, we don't analyze them enough, but they're just there and we sense them. And one of the contradictions from this is precisely this thing of, can you choose things or not? And we tell ourselves two things simultaneously. So those of you who've read The Madness of Crowds will know this, but I'll do it very quickly. But all rights claims in recent decades have tried to embed themselves and argue for themselves by arguing that they are hardware issues. That is, they're a fundamental thing you can do nothing about, the nature of the program. And then there are other issues which are software issues. And by and large, in our societies, in a country like Britain, a country like America, to some extent, if you want to get sympathy or support, you argue that you're hardware. That for instance, when a religious cleric says lifestyle choice, the gays say no, born this way. And trans is doing born this way at the moment. And the problem is that it's understandable, it's debatable, as I show, but it's impossible to do that simultaneously with the demand that being a woman is a choice. That one of the most distinctive hardware things of our species, sex, chromosomes, is simply a performative issue. Because that means that the only people actually born hardware in the right body are trans people.
Yeah. But that's why I think it's funny. Ultimately, it's funny if you have a movement that is telling you that gender is a complete social construct, but then at the same time telling you, but trans people are born in the wrong body. Right. So you can't be a social constructionist and a biological essentialist at the same time. Right. And to try and do both those things simultaneoously makes me laugh. I think I mean, yes. it is a movement that is so full of contradictions, but actually revels in those contradictions, I think.
Well, it doesn't see the contradictions as a problem. I mean, I think